Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at the Soundcore Life Q30. Now this is a pair of noise cancelling headphones that come in at $80 and they're looking to compete with the Sony and the Bose models that come in at $350. But we're going to check out some of the features, the specs, and see if it's actually worth the $80 price tag. Now I'm going to go ahead and start with this. Soundcore is one of those companies, and especially from trying their earbuds, they're aimed at giving you a lot of value for the money. They don't cut back when it comes to features or sound quality. So I was very excited to check these out and see how well they stack up against the Bose and the Sony. Now to start with, these are a high-res audio certified pair of headphones. They have hybrid active noise canceling. They give you 40 hours of battery life. They also have NFC pairing, and they have an ambient mode. So this is a lot of features that you usually get on more expensive models. And on top of that, they also use Soundcore's app, which is one of the most impressive apps out there in the headphone market. And what they do is it allows you to have control over the EQ settings, so you can manually EQ it yourself, or you can choose between a lot of their pre-built EQ options. I personally just like the sound of them right out of the box, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about the sound. And another thing that the app allows you to do is switch between 3 different noise canceling modes with these. So they're calling it their multi-mode noise canceling, which basically will switch into a transport mode, which you would use if you're going to be traveling. It has an indoor mode that you'd use obviously if you're indoors, like at your house, and then they have an outdoor mode. And I do want to say this right off the bat, that I was very impressed with the noise canceling that these have. Now obviously you're going to put the Sony and the Bose right up here at the top, and let's say they cancel out about 90% of the noise. I would put the Soundcore right at around 70%, which given the price difference, I think that is very impressive. Now I can tell that the Soundcore was more aimed at blocking out lower noises like AC units and engine noises, because I still notice that people talking and any kind of higher pitched sounds would still come through. But given the price difference, I was very impressed with the noise canceling on these. Now as far as what you're getting inside the box, these do come with a hard case. Now if you're somebody that travels a lot, that definitely comes in handy because you're able to throw it in the case and not have to worry about it getting damaged while you throw it in your bag. Now as far as the cables, it does come with a 3.5mm headphone cable. That way if you don't want to use them wirelessly, you can plug them into whatever other device you have. And then as far as the charging cable, it uses a USB-C cable. And like I said earlier, these get 40 hours of battery life on a single charge. But if you do happen to pick them up and they're dead, they also have a fast charge feature where a 5-minute charge will get you 4 hours worth of use. Now, as far as quick charge features, that's some of the best that I've seen on a pair of headphones. Now moving over to looking at the headphones themselves, I really like the design of these, and I also like the fact that they are extremely lightweight. But on top of that, you do have the ability to fold these down, and also the ear cups do swivel and lay flat. Now as far as the build quality itself, on the top of the headband it kind of has like an aluminum feel to it, but the rest of the headphone is plastic. So as far as long-term durability, it might be a pair that you have to be careful with, because with plastic you can have a pair that will last you a long time, or it could be a pair that breaks 2 weeks from now. So it really kind of depends on how well you handle your headphones. Now as far as the padding on these, I was very impressed with how soft and how thick the padding is. In fact, it's pretty comparable to the Sony pair. In fact, the ear cups are much thicker on the Life Q30s, but it has that same plush feel. The ear cups are memory foam, but you can tell that they definitely wanted to make sure this is a comfortable pair of headphones. In fact, I would almost say it's overkill because it doesn't have a tight clamp force and there's not a lot of weight on the headphones, so I don't even think they needed to use as much padding as they did. Now as far as controls and features, everything is physical button controls, except on the right ear cup you can cover it with your hand and it will switch it over into ambient mode. That way you can hear people around you or hear your surroundings, and then you just put your hand back on the right ear cup and it will switch it back into whatever mode you were using previously. Now as far as the button controls, on the left hand side you have your power button and you have your pairing button. And a huge plus about this model is it has dual pairing mode, so you can pair up to 2 devices at one time, and that just makes it easy to switch between whatever device you're using. And on the right hand side, you have your volume up and down, your track controls, and even your play and pause. Now, as far as using these for phone calls, they do use dual mics, but I can definitely say that this is one of the weakest points when it comes to these headphones. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So this is the mic test using the Life Q30. You can definitely tell this is a weak point on this headphone. My voice sounds pretty tinny and digital, and I don't feel like it's picking up bass tones very well, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. The sound on these are not for people that want a flat reference sound because this is a very dynamic sounding headphone. I don't care if you switch between the different EQ settings. It's very hard to just flatten out the sound of these. In fact, it's a sound signature that I like. I would definitely consider it a U-shaped sound because the bass is pushed forward to where there's a lot of punch, which I personally prefer just because I listen to a lot of genres, and some genres it just fits very well with. Same thing with the treble. You can tell that it's tuned up in a way where it's trying to counterbalance that boomy bass. The mids are pushed forward enough that you're hearing a lot of characteristics in vocalists. In fact, I think vocalists have a pretty warm sound to them, so it sounds really natural. I never felt with these headphones that anything sounded artificial or digital, so I definitely like the warmer tone that it has, but still allowing details to come through because of the brighter treble. Now, as far as the sound stage and the sound imaging, these are not as open sounding as the Sony or the Bose. It's definitely still not a closed-in sound, but you can tell because of the dynamic sound, it just doesn't open up as much as the other pairs. But as far as being able to tell where instruments are coming from and hearing different characteristics from different angles, these handle with no issue. Now, as far as my cons with these, I really only have one. I think the microphones are definitely the weak point on these headphones. So if your main focus is to use a pair of headphones for phone calls, this is definitely a pair that I would skip out on. But outside of that, I think these are a fantastic pickup, especially for the price. Soundcore, in my opinion, has done it again, where they're giving you a lot for your money. Just to put this into perspective, this pair is $80, where the Sony and the Bose come in at $350. I mean, you could easily get 4 pair of these headphones for the cost of one of those. And sometimes pairs like this is just kind of a no-brainer. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you don't want to sacrifice on sound and features, I think this is an excellent pair to check out. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Soundcore Life Q30. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.